Taurus. 10 spiritual insights that could change your year. There are things the universe has been trying to tell you, Taurus. Things that have been whispered in the quiet moments, woven into the patterns of your days, hidden in the spaces between what happens and what you feel about what happens. And if you are here right now, listening to this, it is not by accident. Something inside you already knows that this year is different. Something inside you has been stirring, shifting, preparing for a change that your mind has not yet caught up with. But your soul knows. Your soul has always known. You carry within you a depth that most people will never understand. As a Taurus, you are connected to the earth in a way that goes beyond the physical. You feel the rhythms of life in your body, in your bones, in the way your energy rises and falls with the seasons. And right now, the spiritual current running through your sign is stronger than it has been in years. These 10 insights are not predictions. They are not promises. They are truths that have been circling your life, waiting for you to be ready to receive them. And the fact that you are here right now tells me that you are ready. So take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. And let these words reach the part of you that already knows what it needs to hear. Insight 1. The first spiritual insight is this. The discomfort you have been feeling is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is right. For months, maybe even longer, you have felt a restlessness that you could not quite name. A feeling that the life you have built, as beautiful and stable as it may be, is somehow not enough anymore. Not because it lacks anything tangible, but because your soul is outgrowing the container you have placed it in. This is not a crisis. This is an awakening. And it is one of the most sacred experiences a person can go through. The discomfort is your spirit stretching, expanding, reaching for something more aligned with who you are becoming rather than who you have been. Most people run from this feeling. They distract themselves, they numb it, they convince themselves that stability means staying exactly where they are. But you are not most people. You are Taurus. And when the earth itself begins to shift, you do not fight it. You listen. You let the ground beneath you reshape itself, knowing that what emerges will be stronger, more fertile, more alive than what was there before. So do not fear this discomfort. Do not try to silence it or fix it or rush through it. Sit with it. Let it teach you. Because on the other side of this stretching is a version of your life that your current self can barely imagine. And it is closer than you think. Insight 2. The second spiritual insight is about your relationship with time and the way it is shifting right now. For most of your life, you have had a natural understanding of patience. You know that good things take time. You know that rushing leads to mistakes. But something is changing in the way you experience time itself. The days feel different. Some move slowly, as if the universe is asking you to pay attention to every detail. Others rush past so quickly you wonder where they went. This is not random. This is a spiritual recalibration. The universe is teaching you that time is not linear in the way you have always believed. It bends. It stretches. It contracts. And the moments that feel the slowest are often the ones carrying the most transformation. Pay attention to those slow moments, Taurus. They are not empty. They are full of something your logical mind cannot yet perceive, but your spirit can feel. And when you stop trying to manage time and instead allow yourself to move with it, to flow with its rhythms rather than fight against them, something remarkable happens. You begin to experience what some call divine timing. Not as a concept but as a lived reality. Doors open exactly when you are ready to walk through them. People appear exactly when you need them. Answers arrive exactly when the questions have fully formed inside you. This is the spiritual gift that is being activated in your life right now. Trust it. Even when it does not match your timeline, trust it. Insight 3. The third insight touches something that many Taurus carry but rarely talk about. The weight of always being the strong one. You have spent your entire life being the rock for other people. The one they lean on. The one they call when everything falls apart. The one who somehow always holds it together no matter what. And you have done it beautifully. But the spiritual truth that is emerging now is this. Being strong does not mean carrying everything alone. There is a difference between strength and stubbornness, between resilience and refusal to ask for help. And the universe is gently, lovingly asking you to learn that difference this year. You are being invited to let others hold you for a change. To let others see the parts of you that are tired, that are uncertain, that are quietly asking for support. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of spiritual courage. the willingness to be vulnerable in a world that has always rewarded you for being unbreakable. And when you allow yourself to receive, when you open your hands and let support flow toward you instead of always flowing out from you, something miraculous happens. The love that has always been there waiting to reach you finally finds a way in. And that love does not diminish your strength. It multiplies it in ways you never expected. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Insight 4. The fourth spiritual insight is about forgiveness, but not the kind you might expect. This is not about forgiving others, though that may come. This is about forgiving yourself. There are things you have carried for years, Taurus. Decisions you wish you had made differently. Words you wish you had spoken or held back. Paths you wish you had taken or avoided. And these regrets have become like stones in your pockets, so familiar that you have forgotten they are weighing you down. But the spiritual energy moving through your sign right now is asking you to set those stones down, one by one. Not because what happened does not matter, but because what happened has already served its purpose. It taught you what it needed to teach you. It shaped you into the person you are today. And that person, the one standing here right now, is worthy of their own compassion. Self-forgiveness is not about pretending the past did not happen. It is about acknowledging that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And that is enough. It has always been enough. The version of you that made those decisions was navigating a world with different tools, different understanding, different pressures than the version of you that exists today. And holding that earlier version of yourself to the standards of who you are now is not fair. It is not kind. And it is not spiritually aligned with the growth you are being called to embrace. Let yourself off the hook. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because the energy that is trying to move through your life cannot flow freely through a heart that is still punishing itself for yesterday. Insight 5. The fifth spiritual insight is one that will resonate deeply with your Taurus nature. The sacredness of the physical world is not separate from the spiritual world. They are the same thing. For too long, spiritual teachings have told people that they need to transcend the physical, that the body is a limitation, that true enlightenment means rising above the material world. But as a Taurus, you have always felt that something about that teaching was incomplete, because you experience the divine through your senses. You feel the sacred in the warmth of the sun on your face. You touch the infinite in the soil between your fingers. You taste eternity in a meal shared with someone you love. And this is not a lesser form of spirituality. It is one of the highest, because the physical world is not an obstacle to the divine. It is an expression of it. Every tree, every stone, every breeze that moves across your skin is the universe expressing itself in form. And your ability to feel that, to recognize the sacred in the ordinary, is a spiritual gift that most people spend their entire lives trying to develop. You were born with it. And this year, you are being called to honor that gift more fully than ever before. To stop apologizing for your love of comfort, of beauty, of the tangible things that make life feel meaningful. These are not distractions from your spiritual path. They are your spiritual path. And when you walk it with full awareness, with gratitude, with reverence for the miracle of being alive in a body that can feel, that is when the deepest transformation occurs. Insight 6. The sixth spiritual insight is about the power of your voice and the cost of keeping it silent. Taurus is not known for being loud. You are not the sign that dominates conversations or demands to be heard. You speak when you have something worth saying, and you stay quiet when you do not. But there is a difference between choosing silence and being silenced. And the spiritual energy moving through your life right now is asking you to examine which one you have been practicing. Because there are truths inside you that need to be spoken. Not shouted, not forced upon anyone, but spoken clearly, calmly, and without apology. There are things you have held back for years, opinions you have swallowed, feelings you have buried because expressing them felt too risky, too vulnerable, too likely to disrupt the stability you have worked so hard to create. But here is the spiritual truth you are being asked to embrace. Stability built on silence is not true stability. It is a holding pattern. And holding patterns by their very nature cannot last forever. Your voice matters, Taurus. Not because it is louder than anyone else's, but but because it carries a frequency of truth that the world needs. When you speak from that deep, grounded place inside you, your words land differently. They carry weight. They carry authority. Not the authority of power, but the authority of lived experience, of deep feeling, of genuine wisdom. And this year, the universe is asking you to use that voice. Not for everyone, not in every situation, but in the moments that matter. The moments where your silence has cost you something precious. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Insight 7. The seventh spiritual insight speaks to something that is already happening inside you. Whether you have named it or not, you are releasing attachments that no longer serve your highest good. This does not necessarily mean you are losing things or people. It means your relationship with certain things and people is evolving. What once felt essential may now feel optional. What once felt comforting may now feel confining. And what once felt like home may now feel like a place you have outgrown. This is not betrayal. This is not ingratitude. This is spiritual evolution in its most natural form. Just as a tree releases its leaves in autumn, not because something is wrong but because it is time, you are in a season of release. And the things that are falling away are not failures. They are completions. They have done what they came to do. They have taught you what they came to teach. And now, with love and gratitude, it is time to let them go so that something new can take root. This process can feel deeply uncomfortable for Taurus, because you are a sign that values consistency, that finds security in the familiar, that builds deep roots in the soil of what you know. But the spiritual truth emerging now is that your roots are not in things or places or even people. Your roots are in you. They are in the unshakable core of who you are. And that core cannot be lost, no matter what changes on the surface. So let the leaves fall, Taurus. Trust that what remains is more than enough. Trust that the branches that are now bare will bloom again in time, with something more beautiful than what was there before. Insight 8. The eighth spiritual insight is about the dreams you have quietly abandoned, and the fact that they have not abandoned you. Somewhere along the way you set something down. A dream, a vision, a deep knowing about what your life could become. You set it down not because you stopped wanting it, but because life got in the way. Responsibilities piled up. Priorities shifted. The practical needs of daily living slowly buried the thing that once made your heart beat faster. But here is what the universe wants you to know. That dream is still alive. It has been waiting in the background of your life, patient as only a Taurus dream can be, holding its shape in the silence until you were ready to pick it back up. And this year, you are being given the opportunity to do exactly that. Not necessarily in the same form. Dreams evolve just as we do. The dream you set down at 30 may look different at 60 or 70, but its essence, the feeling it carried, the sense of purpose and aliveness it gave you, that has not changed. And the universe is whispering to you now, gently, persistently, asking you to remember. What was the thing that made you feel most like yourself? What was the vision that made you feel connected to something larger than your daily routine? That is not gone. It is simply waiting. And the spiritual energy of this year is creating the exact conditions needed for you to return to it, to honor it, to give it the space it deserves in your life once more. Insight 9. The ninth spiritual insight is about the relationships that are about to deepen in ways you did not expect. As a Taurus, your relationships are not casual. They are investments of your heart, your time, your energy. And the spiritual current moving through your sign right now is going to transform the way you connect with the people who matter most to you. But this transformation does not come from effort. It comes from authenticity. As you begin to embrace these spiritual shifts, as you release old patterns and step into a more aligned version of yourself, the people around you will feel it. Some will be drawn closer. They will sense the change in you and respond with their own openness, their own vulnerability, their own willingness to go deeper. These are the relationships that are meant to walk with you into this next chapter. But some may pull away. Not because they do not love you, but because your growth activates their own discomfort. And that is not your responsibility to manage. Your only responsibility is to keep showing up as the most honest, most authentic, most spiritually aligned version of yourself. The relationships that can hold that version of you will not just survive. They will flourish. They will become sources of healing, of joy, of mutual elevation that you may not have experienced before. And the ones that cannot hold it will gently, naturally, find their way to the periphery. Trust this process. It is not loss. It is alignment. Insight 10. The 10th and final spiritual insight is the one that ties everything together. You are exactly where you need to be, and the best is not behind you. It is in front of you. There is a story the world tells about aging, about what is possible after a certain number of years, about what you should expect and what you should accept. But that story is not your story. Your story is being written by a force much larger than society's expectations. Your story is being written by the universe itself, and the universe does not recognize the limitations that humans place on time. The spiritual truth is that you are entering a period of profound expansion, not the kind that requires you to do more, be more, or prove more. The kind that simply asks you to be who you truly are without apology, without hesitation, without the masks you have worn to make the world more comfortable. And when you do that, when you fully step into the truth of who you are, something extraordinary happens. Life meets you there. Opportunities appear that are perfectly aligned with your gifts. People show up who see you, truly see you in ways that take your breath away. And the sense of purpose that you thought had faded reignites with a force that surprises even you. This is what is available to you, Taurus. Not someday. Not in another life. Now. In this year. In this moment. The spiritual insights you have received today are not just ideas to think about. They are invitations to transform the way you live, the way you love, the way you show up in the world. And the universe is not asking you to make these changes alone. It is surrounding you with support, with guidance, with the energy of transformation that has been building toward this exact moment in your life. Every challenge you have faced has prepared you for this. Every lesson you have learned has led you here. And every quiet strength you carry as a Taurus is about to be called into service in the most beautiful, most meaningful, most soul-satisfying way. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are not too anything. You are exactly enough. And this year, the entire universe is conspiring to show you just how true that is. Trust it. Trust yourself. And most importantly, trust the quiet voice inside you that brought you here today. Because it knows exactly where you are going. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.